So you've seen price elasticity of demand. Income elasticity of demand works very much the same way. So we'll push through this one a little bit quicker. Start with the equation. The income elasticity is the percentage change in quantity demanded divided by the percentage change in income. And this formula should look familiar to you. It's the same kind of formula as the price elasticity. The difference is we're dividing, instead of dividing by the percentage change in the price of the good, we're dividing by the percentage change in income. So here's various income levels and quantity demandeds associated with them. And what you see here is at an income level of $20,000, the consumer will demand 20 units of the good. At an income level of $25,000, the consumer will demand 40 units of the good. And of course, as the consumer's income rises, it goes up and up, his quantity demanded of the good goes up. So finally, at an income of $80,000, the person's going to demand 130 units of this good. So we can do the same kind of thing we did before. Go through those income levels and calculate the percentage change in income. So for example, as you go from an income of $20,000 to an income of $25,000, the income rises by 25%. As you go from $25,000 to $30,000, the income's rising by 20%, and it goes on all the way down. Do the same thing with quantity demanded. At a income of $20,000, the person is demanding 20 units of the product. As the person's income goes up to $25,000, his demand goes up to 40 units. So that change from 20 units to 40 units is a percentage change of 100%. Going from 40 units to 55 units is an increase of 38%. Going from 120 to 125 is an increase of 4%. So you have the percentage change in income, you have the percentage change in quantity demanded. Divide the percentage change in quantity demanded by the percentage change in income. This gives us the income elasticity. So for example, on that very first line, the percentage change in quantity demanded is 1, the percentage change in income is 0.25, 1 divided by 0.25 is 4.0. So 4.0 is the person's income elasticity. As you go down, as your income rises from $25,000 to $30,000, the percentage change in quantity demanded is 38%. The percentage change in income is 20%. 38% divided by 20% is 1.88. So you see all these various income elasticities. So you calculate these things very similarly to how we calculated the price elasticity. Now, what you get is going to be a number that ranges from negative infinity to positive infinity. And we draw a line at at 1, and talk about the income elasticities that are above 1 and the income elasticities that are below 1. If your income elasticity is above 1, we say that you regard the good as superior. If the income elasticity is below 1, we say you regard the good as inferior, and if it's at 1, you regard the good as normal. Now here's what this means. Let's suppose, for example, that your income elasticity we calculate to be 2.0. So here's 2.0 on the chart. And my income elasticity equation, if I multiply both sides by percentage change in income, I get this formula you see here. The percentage change in the quantity demanded is 2.0, my income elasticity, times the percentage change in income. Now let's suppose your income rises by 10%. So I plug in a 10% in the percentage change income. 10% times 2.0 gives me 20% is the percentage change in quantity demanded. What this means is, if you increase the price of the product by 10%, the quantity demanded will go up by 20%. Now, stop and think about that for a moment. Your income has gone up by 10%, but your quantity demanded has gone up by twice that, has gone up by 20%. This is indicative of a superior product. Your income has risen by a certain amount and your consumption rises by even more. This is a product that is very sensitive to your income changes. Now, back up for a moment and look at the 1.0. If your income rises by 10% and your quantity demanded also rises by 1%, so your income elasticity is 1, we regard this as a normal good. So your income is rising by some percentage and your consumption rises by the same percentage. Income elasticities that are particularly negative are indicative of inferior goods. So for example, if your income goes up by 10% and your quantity demanded drops by 5%, so your income is going up, your quantity demand is going down, this is indicative of an inferior good. Some textbooks will treat the interval of 0 to 1 as a normal good. So if your income elasticity is anywhere in that range of 0 to 1, you call that a normal good. Other textbooks will say, well, no, it's really 1.0. If you're at 1.0, that's a normal good. Anything below 1.0 is an inferior good. What you want to not get caught up in here is the idea that there are three distinct classifications: inferior, normal, and superior. In fact, it's a continuum. So you can have goods that are more normal than other goods, and these are goods that are closer to 1. You can have goods that are more superior, so they're goods that are further up the line in the positive direction. You can have goods that are more inferior, they're goods that are further in the negative direction. So don't think of the thing as three distinct classifications so much as a continuum that you slide along. So our conclusion here is, if a good is superior, an increase in your income increases the unit sales more than proportionally. If for a good that's normal, an increase in your income increases your quantity demanded by a proportional amount. And if the good is inferior, an increase in your income increases your quantity demanded less than proportionally. You'll see this income elasticity in use when you go to the grocery store. You buy something and you swipe the card that gives you a discount. What's actually happening here is the grocer is giving you a discount in exchange for using the card, but to get the card you had to fill out information that said, what your name is, what your address is, various things about you. And you're put on file, so every time you use this card, the grocery store can track your purchases, what time of day you purchase, what types of things you purchase, how frequently you purchase, all of this. Also, in addition to this, when you filled out the application for the card, you put your zip code. By using your zip code, the grocery store can refer to demographic, to census data, and get a decent estimate of what your household income is. They can then compare different customers with different estimated household incomes, compare their consumption of different products. So what the grocery store is actually doing is using this information to estimate the income elasticities for their various products. This becomes useful because if the grocery store chain is thinking about opening a store in two different areas. Area A is inner city where the income is lower. Area B is the suburbs where the income is higher. And depending on what sorts of products the grocery chain anticipates selling, it may decide that it's better to put the store in the urban area versus the suburban area, based on how much increase in sales they estimate getting based on the differences in income levels in these two areas. So as you use your card every time you go through the grocery store, you're providing data to the firm to estimate these income elasticities.